Hey, good Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday, September 24th, and this is a rather rare early morning drive time dialectic. So I don't think I'm going to get a lot of live stream viewers for this, but if you are catching this on a replay, please make sure you're liking it, commenting on it, and hey, Jugs, Eric, good to see you guys. Make sure that you are sharing it out, and if you aren't already subscribed to the Angry Vet, you need to get over there and get that done. And then housekeeping out of the way. Subscribe to my channel, like the content, share the content, and if you have it in your budget to support the channel, become a channel member, that would be awesome. Also, just so you guys are aware, I am working on that support fund for Chase Johnston's family while he is incarcerated. But yeah, we got all sorts of irons in the fire, so I would much rather you guys support Chase if that's all you can afford. So Chase needs it, and his family needed a hell of a lot more than anybody else that I know right now. So yeah, anyway. So a lot of you know Tav, the Angry Vet. I think it's been 2 years I've been interacting with Tav now. The first time I met him, it was when I had sat down with him and on Veteran Nation with Mike Skipper Arthur, and we talked about what Tav was going through and how he ended up becoming kind of an accidental auditor just because he had to start recording his own meetings with his care team at the VA clinic in Maryland where he lives. And for those of you that don't know, Tav is a Coast Guard veteran. He served in the armed forces in his way. He probably served, I won't say probably, he definitely served in a far more illustrious manner than I did. I happened to miss all of the shooting and all the hollering just by a hair's breadth, and I don't regret that. I wish that none of our service members ever had to be in harm's way. Quite frankly, I'm over the wars. I'm over the conflicts. I'm over sending our troops overseas. I'm over sending them anywhere that isn't directly related to protecting our coast and our border here in the homeland. And so I don't regret that I never made it into a combat zone, but I do regret that I was never able to serve alongside so many of the people that have become the great warriors that they are today, for having had to tolerate the garbage that this nation, that this country puts them through. I'm getting ready to go down in a little dip in a valley, so there might be some spotty reception here, which is kind of why I'm rambling on. I'm doing 60 and people are passing me through Deer Alley like I'm sitting still. I wish no ill will on them, but gosh, man, it's like they don't know that they're driving through Deer Alley. Anyway, I might have missed my calling with my channel. I might have missed my calling with my channel. I should have just, 4 years ago, just decided to start doing chickens. That's not what decided to start raising chickens and doing live streams of them, and I might be like wealthy instead of broke. Anyway, thanks to everybody who's tuning in. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, tune into one of the chicken live streams on the weekend or go back and watch the one I did on Sunday while I was talking to you guys and cleaning out the chicken coop and doing stuff in the runs and the paddocks. Had 350 viewers by the time I was done with the 2.5-hour stream, which is just miraculous for me on the stream. That's and I wasn't even really doing anything. I think Flex over at Flex Your Freedoms calls those non-tent, right? Flex. But anyway, yeah. So Tav and I I've had Tav on my show now a couple of times, and I love the guy. You know, I love him because he's passionate. I love him because he's dedicated. I love him because he's bold. I love him because he's fierce. Anyway, as I was saying, I love him because he's cocky as all hell, and you shouldn't like that, right? We're told that like cocky people like that, you're not supposed to like them. And yet here I am. I'm just absolutely fascinated by Tav. I could consider him a friend. He asked me early on to be part of SCARS. And that organization, that nonprofit is up and I know, you know, I haven't had my hands on much of it in that regard, but he has asked me about media relations with SCARS and, you know, making content for SCARS, and I make content for SCARS, and to point other people who are in need of help to SCARS, because that's been his goal this entire time. It just, this is who Tav is at heart. I mean, he's a scruff guy. He's hilarious as hell, as well as being cocky as hell. I mean, who else can get on a live stream in his backyard with that beard and no shirt and be entertaining? I mean, if I tried to just like do a live stream without a shirt on, I would lose all of my subscribers, but Tav just keeps getting them. And the guy's, just so you know, he's not attractive. Don't tell him I said that, but he's not attractive at all. I just I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, if there's anybody that's less attractive than Tav, it might be my co-host of Veteran Nation, Mike Skipper Arthur, and probably definitely, and I don't know if he's watching right now, but probably definitely AVA, Veterans Affairs Media. I mean, these people are not, I mean, I love doing shows with these guys because I look like a movie star when they're around. I said what I said. I'm not even afraid. But I mean, and we're all used to, anybody who watches Tav, we're all used to him coming into a stream, starting his streams, or coming in on a panel with somebody and coming in with his what's up, right? I mean, like, and he says he's going to bring it back, and I tell him I'm not taking part in it, but then I do it when he's around, so I guess I am taking part in it. But I just don't want, I don't want to be part of the what's up crowd just to be cool. I just don't want to fit in. I mean, so you know, what's happening to Tav, we all need to think about what that means to the accountability activist community, and because we're all coming at it from a different perspective. And you know, and like I tell people, like, what I do compared to what Tav does, what Flex does, what I do compared to, you know, like even with AVA and when he content going out and actually confronting these people, I don't do a lot of that. I have some of those conversations with people, but that's not a thing that I'm out doing on a regular basis. I do, you know, the unsexy deep dives into the philosophy that drives, that was supposed to drive our nation. And that doesn't make me, more important. It just gives I just bring a perspective about these things and why I believe the way that I do. And that, it's like, that's not as sexy as the guy who's out there on the front lines like Tav, and that says so much about his character. But the thing that says so much more about Tav's character, quite frankly, is what he does for other people. I cannot count the number of times that Tav has stopped in on one of my streams, just for no reason at all. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about an issue that he has going on. I'm talking about somebody completely unrelated. Interviewing, and I hate that term because I don't really interview people. I have conversations with people, but we call it interviewing. But I'm sitting down and having a conversation with some unknown person about what's going on in their life and what's motivating them to do what they're doing, what's motivated them to the fight that they're engaged in at their local level or whatever level they're at. And Tav will just throw out 5, 10, about 20 gift memberships on one of my streams. 20. Like, mind-boggling. And those gift memberships are, obviously at the entry level of memberships for me, but that's turned around and has led to some of those people signing back up on their own when their gift membership expires. He's come in and thrown super chats my way. And here's the thing. He's done that for numerous other channels. Numerous channels. With no expectation of any kind of return. And that has just motivated me to do that for other people. When I can, when I have the finances. Somebody just tried to run me off the road. It's a good thing I can talk and pay attention while I'm on the road, right? But yeah, so Tav's done that for dozens of other people. Tav has given vehicles. At least in one case, Tav has given one vehicle away to someone who was in dire straits, who really needed it. But Tav is in a fight for his life. And you guys know how I feel about that stuff. If you watch my channel on a regular basis, you know how I feel about injustice. You know how I feel about a corrupt system. You know how I feel about people who run up against the meat grinder that is the criminal justice system in the United States. And I don't care what freaking part of the country you live in. I don't care what county you're in, what jurisdiction you're in. The criminal justice system is broke as hell. It's broke as hell. It is supposed to protect the rights of the accused, and all it does is abuse the accused. That's what it does. You look at the story I've been covering about this young man who I met when I was a deputy in Olmsted County before getting forced out of that career field. This young guy, Chase Johnston. Chase has a history, right? This young guy has a history. He's been to prison. He's done hard, I don't know if he would call it hard time, but Chase has done time. He's been locked up on felonies. And he got out and he decided he wanted to start protecting his community. And there, we're back. But Chase is looking at doing 10 years for catching a predator trying to meet with an underage boy. Let that sink in. He was convicted on Friday of 3 felony counts related to catching a sexual predator. And now he's looking at 10 years away from his significant other and their children. And I got people coming at me for telling Chase's story, telling me that I've gone off the deep end. And if you know the depth of the story, and we're going to tell more of Chase's story in days to come, and the reason I'm talking about Chase is because it's the same thing with Tav. When you look at Chase's story, it's the wheels of the justice system are not wheels that roll you down the road safely. They're grinding wheels that we used to grind meal with. And once you get caught in those goddamn grinding wheels, you can't get out from underneath them. They grab you and they hold on to you and they grind you and grind you and grind you, and that's what they're doing to Tav. That's what they're doing to Tav. I mean, the guy is looking at 40 years for recording his own meetings in the VA. Over and over and over. Talk to people. The angry vet has had that happen to him. A Veterans Affairs media has had that happen to him. Mike Skipper Arthur has had negative run-ins with the VA to the point where he records now when he's meeting. And they will use everything under the sun to come after you, and they're trying to get Tav on the, and not trying, they now got him on these felony wiretapping charges in Baltimore. Let that crap sink in. Wiretapping. Not, you know, like, he didn't sexually assault anyone, he didn't threaten to hurt anybody, he didn't, like, walk in and start pew-pewing the place up, and he would never do that. That's not who he is. But here he is, 40 freaking years he's looking at for watching out for himself in the very administration that is supposed to be there for him, to watch out for him. And you know, bless his heart, Skipper keeps telling me, you know, TC, you gotta get in there, you gotta sign up, your own VA benefits. Like, you guys know my personality. If I had walked into a VA, I'd be recording the second I got out of the car. The camera would be on, and I'd be in jail. I'd just be in jail, because I look at the things that happen to so many of my fellow veterans. And the crap that they go through, trying to get care, trying to get services, trying to not take advantage, but use those benefits that were promised to us when we signed on that line, when we raised our hand and we swore that oath, and we said, we will defend this country, we will defend the Constitution, we will stand up for this republic, we will do all of those things. And in return, the country, the republic says, we'll take care of you. We will offer you services. We will provide for you through the Veterans Affairs Administration, medical care and dental care and, you know, psychological and mental health counseling and therapy. We will provide this. We will provide for college. You know, I could have gone to college, but I screwed around and blew my GI Bill time. That's on me. But we'll do all these things. We'll take care of all of that stuff. And then when you go, they're like, oh no, sorry, we didn't mean that. We didn't actually mean that. We didn't expect you would take us up on that. Like, what the hell? You actually expect us to like keep our word? I mean, what's wrong with you? Don't you know that we're the federal government? We never keep our word. Yeah, but we served. Well, yeah, but I mean, you didn't die. So, like, what do you want from us? We'll help you if you're dead. Maybe. Oh, you want to be buried in the local veterans cemetery? We'll do that for you. And that's what every one of these people that I've mentioned is fighting. And there are more. Blind justice. I mean, look at this guy's story. Are you paying attention yet? Brian from Here's the Deal went out and did a video at a gun control demonstration, people demanding an end to basically personal firearms ownership. And he was interviewing people, and you know, if you know anything about Brian, this guy he's just like one of the kindest, sweetest people when you just watch him interact with others. He came into the stream on Friday night when I was having my meltdown about Chase, and I watched his video from this gun control rally, and here's how it ties in to this conversation. All these people are demanding that the government, you know, take away people's firearms, and he pointed out the silliness of them only wanting assault rifles banned, by pointing out that far more people are killed with handguns than with assault rifles or rifles of any kind. And he pointed out the banality of the evil, of the stupidity of these people by asking, so you trust government? And almost every one of them said, no, not at all. So these people trust government to be responsible enough to take your guns away from you, but they don't trust them in other things. And I think that speaks to the situation for most people who are veterans. We don't trust the government. Like, you ask your average veteran, and when I mean average, I mean like 98% of veterans today. About 98% of the veterans that are left alive, some going back to World War II yet. You ask them, do you trust the government? And the answer is, oh hell no. No, I don't trust the government. Are you kidding me? Do you see what they do? Do you trust the VA? Oh yeah. You know. So like 98% of vets don't trust the government, but a big chunk of them trust the VA, and they'll say to you, well, I know some people have had a bad experience with the VA, but that hasn't happened to me, so I don't want to get involved. I want you guys to ask yourselves, veterans or not, because I know my viewers, I know my subscribers, I know my channel members, I know not one of us trusts the government. What are we doing about it? I'm not talking about violent overthrow. I'm not talking about packing up all your guns and your family and moving, you know, to some compound in the middle of, you know, Ruby Ridge, Idaho, or anything like that, or Waco, Texas. I'm talking about what are we doing for the veterans in our lives that we know need care and maybe aren't getting what they need. What are we doing for the people who we do know are struggling? For justice. Last night, a Veterans Affairs Media did a live stream, and he had all of the information for who to reach out to in the case of the angry vet. So what I want you guys to do is, I want you, when I get done with this live stream, I want you guys to go to AVA, to a Veterans Affairs Media, and I want you to watch his live stream last night, and I want you to hear his heart. I want you to subscribe to his channel if you don't already, and I want you to take that information that he has for contacting the angry vets, congressmen and senators and all of that stuff, and I want you guys to reach out. I want you to start putting pressure on these people. It doesn't have to be ugly, it doesn't have to be mean. It could just be expressing your frustration with the system that is grinding us down one by one, by one, by one. Thanks for throwing your coffee cup on me, jackass. There's not a lot that many of us can do because we're all scattered around the entire country. I mean, I got viewers in other countries, but we're never going to win any of these fights individually. We've got to start banding together. No matter where the fight is, no matter who the fight's with, we've got to start banding together, and we've got to really think long and hard about what it means for us to have our channels and have these, people that we subscribe to, even the philosophies that we adhere to, if we're not doing much with it. And I guess that's, where I'm at. I'm dejected. I'm just so goddamn dejected lately. And, I know that this is not, paranoid delusions at all. I know that there's a segment of society that's waiting for me to run into the grist mill, if you will, that they want me caught up in it. I had somebody ask me the other day, all the videos you put out about Minnesota State Patrol, do you get a little nervous when you get on the highway, on the freeway? I'm like, yeah, actually, because I know they know who I am. And I think that's how every one of us feels. I think Skipper feels that way. Tav, I know, feels that way. I know that AVA feels that way. I know that Blind Justice feels that way. I know that Flex feels that way. And I could just go down the list on and on and on and on and on. But I know one thing is for sure. Tav has done more for most of us than any of us will ever be able to do for anybody else. And I'm never going to be able to repay that. And this is the closest I can get. AVA is putting the contact information in for Maryland's 1st District Congressman right now. If you guys would, screenshot that and then call him. AVA, do you have his email address? If you do, put that in. I'm having a rough morning. I'm running late for work. I hate running late for work. And God bless it, we had a new guy start yesterday. He's a Marine. I promised I promised the bosses I'd be nice to the Marine for the first week. But yeah, reach out to this Andy Harris on behalf of TAV and see if there's anything we can do. I do know that elected servants like congressmen and senators have to walk a very, very tight rope when it comes to interfering in people's criminal procedures. They can get ethics violations real quick and even charges. You know, Eric, it's funny that you said hide your crayons, because when the boss introduced me to this young man yesterday, I said, I promised I'd be nice for a week, even though you're a Marine. And he says, no, it's okay. I eat crayons on a regular basis. So he opened the door for me. Let's help TAV, because I know TAV's helped tons of us. And head over to AVA's video last night and watch what he had to say and the information that he gives. And if you head over to TAV, tell him, and you haven't before, tell him I sent you. And if you have, and you head over there now, just tell him I sent you anyway. Tell him that I refuse to say "what's up" to him. I won't take part in it. I will not be part of his juvenile behavior. I love him, but I cannot condone his irresponsible "what's up." I can't be part of it, folks. I just refuse. But I won't do it. "What's up" is not this. Like, that's not good behavior. It's just that's like some Coast Guard, brown water, mud Navy kind of stuff there. And I'm above that. I'm a paratrooper. So, but yeah, folks, let's get together. Let's help one another. But especially right now, whatever it is you can do to help TAV, words of encouragement, prayer, positive thoughts. AVA, you might want to send him some nudes, but he is your baby daddy. But anyway, until next time, my friends, Sic Semper Tyrannis.